There is an island in the Caribbean that many powerful nations have tried to break. An island blockaded, sanctioned, isolated, and yet that island continues to send healers into the world. Cuba. Not merely an island of doctors, but an island of healers. Before we speak of hospitals and medical schools, we must speak of the ancestors. Because the roots of Cuban healing do not begin in the 20th century. They begin centuries earlier, when African people were carried across the Atlantic in chains. Yoruba people, Congo people, Dahomey people, many nations of Africa. They brought with them something that could not be confiscated: their cosmology, their understanding that health is not merely the absence of disease. Health is balance, harmony between the body, the spirit, the community, and the ancestors. In the Yoruba tradition of Ifa, healing is guided by wisdom older than empire. The Babalawo consults the sacred verses of Ifa, not just to treat illness, but to restore alignment between a person and their destiny. And in Cuba, those traditions live on. They became what we may know as Santeria or Lukumi, the reverence of the Orisha. Oshun, who governs the sweetness of life and the healing waters. Babalu Aye, the Orisha who walks with the sick and the suffering. Obatala, keeper of clarity and balance. These spiritual lineages remind us that healing is sacred work. So when we look at modern Cuba and see thousands of doctors traveling the world to care for the poor, the abandoned, the forgotten, some might see politics, but others recognize something deeper, an ancestral ethic. Because after the Cuban Revolution, a physician named Che Guevara spoke words that echoed ancient wisdom. He said the revolutionary doctor must not only treat disease, the revolutionary doctor must transform the conditions that create suffering. Medicine, in this sense, became a form of solidarity. The island trained thousands of physicians, doctors who lived inside the communities they served, doctors who knocked on doors then checked on elders, doctors who traveled to mountains, villages, and barrios where care had never reached before. And then something extraordinary happened. Cuba began sending the doctors across the world, to Africa, to Latin America, to the Caribbean, to places struck by earthquakes, epidemics, and poverty. Not with armies, with stethoscopes. Hundreds of thousands of Cuban health workers have served humanity beyond their own shores. In many villages across the global south, the first doctor a child ever sees is a Cuban doctor. Think about that. An island under economic pressure, an island facing fuel shortages and sanctions, and yet it continues to export its greatest resource: care, healing, human dignity. In the language of the ancestors, we might say this is a work of Ashe, the life force that moves through all things. When Ashe flows correctly, communities thrive. When it's blocked by greed, domination, and exploitation, suffering spreads. Cuba, despite its hardships, continues to move Ashe outward into the world through medicine, through healing hands, through the belief that healthcare is not a privilege reserved for the wealthy, but a birthright of humanity. So when we speak of Cuba, we should not only speak of geopolitics or ideology. We should speak of an island that chose healing as a national vocation. An island where African memory, revolutionary spirit, and human compassion meet each other. An island of healers. And in honoring Cuba, we also are honoring the ancestors who crossed the ocean carrying knowledge that no empire could erase. Because healing, true healing, has always belonged to the people. Ashe.